What is wrong with this team? Everything. I don't know what is wrong. Like it's just never easy, is it?
Lynn Dunn didn't just throw Stephanie White under the bus, she slammed the gas with no brakes, and Indiana Fever fans are losing it. The chaos brewing inside the Fever's front office just reached a whole new level, and don't get it twisted, this drama could seriously impact Caitlin Clark's career. This isn't just a personal clash, it could rewrite the whole story about how the league handles its top talent. So what's your take on the front office calling the shots on coaching decisions? Should Stephanie White be let go, or does she deserve more time? Tell us what you think in the comments.
I'll say it. Fire Stephanie White. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Let's not pretend this isn't a circus. I'm here to break down every wild twist in this full-scale soap opera unfolding in Indianapolis. Lynn Dunn went scorched earth on social media, and when veteran execs start venting like this in public, it's not just smoke, it's a full-blown 5-alarm blaze inside the organization.
Like Lynn Dunn posting, and this is again the former like GM of the Fever, who's now something to do with the Fever. I don't know what her role is. She goes, don't expect the players to do it if you don't drill it.
Let's rewind for a second and remember how this season was supposed to unfold. The Indiana Fever came in like they were building a super team stacked with vets and deep playoff experience. Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson. They were collecting seasoned leaders like they were forming the Avengers. On paper, a dream team. In practice, a chaotic mess like a toddler's finger painting disaster. But here's where it really derails. It's not just about piling up losses. The true failure is in how Caitlin Clark is being used. You've got the most electrifying offensive player this league has seen in years, someone who shattered records and the internet. So what does Stephanie White do? She takes the ball out of her hands and stuffs her into a flat, lifeless motion offense that's putting half the fan base to sleep.
I mean, this offense looked awful, and Sydney Colson, my God, is terrible running point guard on this team. Terrible.
Now, for those lucky enough not to have seen this motion offense, picture players passing like they're stuck in an endless game of hot potato, just hoping something randomly opens up. That's it. It's a system built for high school scrimmages, not elite level talent. And when you've got someone like Clark running that kind of offense, isn't just a bad call, it's practically sabotage. It's like buying a Lumbo and never taking it over 20 miles an hour.
They had 0 fast break points. 0 fast break points on the game. 0 fast break points. I don't care what this score ends up.
Look at what Clark did at Iowa. She was the offense. She ran a free-flowing system, called her own shots, and lit up the scoreboard. Just last week against the Liberty, she dropped 54 points between scoring and assists. That's what happens when you actually let her lead. But White seems allergic to giving her control, forcing her into a system that drains everything unique from her game. Then came the social media bomb. Lynn Dunn, once the Fever's GM and now awkwardly shuffled into a vague senior advisor role, finally snapped. She posted a sharp statement online about not expecting players to execute what you don't drill in practice. Sounds innocent, sure, but let's be real, it was loaded with shade. You don't need a rocket science degree to know exactly who that was for.
Stephanie White is getting destroyed today. Ken Swift posted this, a picture of what's supposed to be Christy's side.
And it wasn't just what she said, it was when she said it. This came right after another brutal loss where the offense looked completely lost. The players seemed confused. Clark looked fed up, and the fans, they were one bad play away from grabbing pitchforks. Dunn didn't just throw shade, she basically wrote out a playbook on everything wrong with White's coaching and posted it for the world to see. And the fans, they're done being nice. One brutally honest comment said, the fans are turning on Stephanie White and fast. These aren't casuals watching once a week. These are die-hard Fever fans who've stuck around through thick and mostly thin. If they're ready to bail this early in the season, that's not just a red flag, it's a neon sign flashing. We've seen enough.
Like, they were embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. They were just embarrassingly bad. And I mean this. A good coach will figure something out. A good coach will figure something out. Does this team play defense? No. No. I mean this. This team doesn't play defense. They've just gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They've gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They don't play defense. They still don't play defense. I know they held the Mystics to 83 points. This was a Mystics team who were not shooting well. They don't play defense. They don't defensive rebound. They don't put in any effort. And that's on coach. That is on the coach.
What makes all this even more frustrating is that the whole disaster was avoidable. People were sounding alarms months ago. They warned it was a terrible call to take someone as creative and instinctive as Clark and force her into a rigid system like motion offense. They pleaded with the staff to build around her, but nope, White clearly thought she had it figured out. Now the results are doing the talking, and here's the part that'll fry your brain. White got fired for publicly calling out the refs. But maybe, just maybe, she should focus more on fixing her own playbook than complaining, because what's sinking this team isn't a missed whistle or two, it's the fact they're squandering a once-in-a-generation talent. Let's talk numbers real quick. When Clark is on the court, Indiana's offensive rating is 1075. When she's off, 822. That's a 25-point swing, not a small dip, a total offensive collapse.
I'm sorry. There is no way you can have 0 fast break points a team unless you are actively trying to not run. Unless you are trying to not run. You cannot have 0 fast break points as a team. Someone just said it, no defense, no offense, no fight. Outside of Lexi Hull and Aaliyah, or not even, I can't even blame Aaliyah Boston, she didn't touch the ball.
This so-called motion offense is supposed to create flow reactions rhythm, but all it really does is smother playmakers and kill momentum. With someone like Clark who sees the game in 4K before others even react, you want her freelancing, firing passes, creating magic. Instead, they got her standing still, slinging pointless sideways passes. You wouldn't tell Steph Curry to only take layups, so why is Clark being caged in? And don't even get me started on this whole take the ball out of Caitlin's hand strategy. She's already a living legend, led Iowa to back-to-back title games, shattered every scoring record out there, turned the WNBA into must-see TV, and in year one redefined the rookie ceiling by making first-team All-WNBA. You don't rein her and you let her loose.
But the Fever got rid of her, and the Fever got rid of her coach. They got rid of her, and they got rid of her coach. They got rid of what she wanted to do. And you know what? I hate saying this. Lynn Dunn was probably right when she said it should be a 5-year plan to improve. That the plan to improve should be a 5-year thing.
The final gut punch. Lynn Dunn isn't just anyone ringing alarm bells. She's the architect of the Fever's one and only championship. She was coaching when Indiana won it all back in 2012. She knows what a winning culture feels like, and when someone with that resume starts sounding off, you better believe there's real fire behind the smoke. And if that's not enough to question White's approach, just look around the league. Check out Vegas with Aya Wilson or New York with Sabrina. Those teams build around their stars. They don't bury them under a system. They lean into the talent, highlight the strengths, and hand them the spotlight.
Elevate the strengths and hand them the spotlight.
I actually think that she was right in saying that. She was 100% right, and they fired her to quick fix it. Which is, a little bit disappointing. It is a little bit disappointing.
The Fever entered the season with championship dreams stamped on the schedule, and Caitlin Clark was crystal clear before tip-off. The goal was to win it all, but let's be real, how do you chase a ring if you won't unleash your biggest weapon? It's like entering the Indy 500 but capping the speed at 60 miles per hour. Beyond Clark's personal goals, the WNBA is loaded. The Liberty are on fire offensively. The Lynx still a threat, and battle-tested squads like Vegas and Phoenix are starting to click. If Indiana wants to keep up, they got to stop playing it safe. Sure, motion offense works for some teams, but this group isn't built for being faceless. It's built around a generational force who can flip a game with one laser pass or a flash of brilliance. Why make a Ferrari idle in first gear when you've got Caitlin? You don't cram her into a system, you design the whole thing around her skill set. This isn't just about plays, it's a full-on philosophical divide. Do you trust your star to control the flow and create magic, or do you stick on the sidelines, forcing her into preset molds? Adapt to the talent or settle for mediocrity? That's the choice every top-tier team has to face. The nation's watching this unfold, and it's like a train wreck in slow motion. We all see the crash coming, but no one hits the brakes. Lynn's recent post might seem harmless, but it revealed a deeper split. It showed a growing divide between the front office and coaching staff on how to use the most important player in franchise history. This isn't about who runs drills, it's about who holds the pen on the playbook. What really fuels this entire blow-up is Stephanie White's recent track record. She brought that same motion offense from the Connecticut Sun, and yes, it worked there, but that team didn't have Caitlin Clark. Now she's trying to plug in a system that isn't made for Caitlin's next-level playmaking. It's like a chef trying to make ramen with Wagyu beef. You're wasting elite ingredients on low-cost noodles. Motion offense sounds nice, everyone gets a touch, the load gets shared, but basketball doesn't work that way. It's not about fairness, it's about who's best. If you've got the most electric creator on the floor, you feed her and clear out. Clark dominated at Iowa because the offense gave her space. She dropped 28 points and over 8 assists per game just using vision, IQ, and timing. But in Indiana's system, she's reduced to a gear in the machine, setting screens, swinging the ball, and hoping luck finds her. It's upside down, and that's exactly why Lynn Dunn's critique hits so deep. Now think about Clark's expected rise from Rookie of the Year to MVP contender. Instead, she's stuck trying to fit into an offense that doesn't suit her, and it's dragging down both her game and the team's performance. The spike in offensive efficiency when Clark has the ball says it all. They thrive with her stall without her, and watching that unfold is maddening. We had flashes of real promise like that Liberty game where White finally let Clark loose in the fourth and she exploded for 32. Flipping the scoreboard, that's what happens when you let a star shine, not dim her brilliance. Then there's the DeWanna Bonner issue, a fresh layer of dysfunction. She didn't leave over XS and OS, she left because the system wouldn't flex when you rely on strict movement. Losing one player like Bonner opens up gaps you can't patch, but in a Clark-centric setup, she still commands the floor, still runs the show. That's real resilience. Lynn's line about drilling what you wanted hits at a deeper issue when the front office envisions Clark leading a talent-first offense, but the coach installs rigid structure. You get a tug of war, and the team is what tears apart. Clark's injury earlier this season wasn't just a setback, it was a stress test, and while she missed 5 games, Indiana's offensive rating sank to 822, not just because she's special, but because this system collapses without perfect personnel. A smart offense has layers, not a house of cards, but this motion setup demands flawless timing, spacing, and high IQ from every player on the court. And when you ask a generational guard to fit in instead of lead, there's only one way that ends. So what now? Will Stephanie White swallow her pride and reshape the offense around Clark's elite vision? Will the front office step in before this spirals further, or will they keep doubling down while one of the planet's best players watches her prime slip by? Other teams are paying attention, coaches are planning, GMs are taking notes. If Indiana won't let Clark lose someone else, well, this isn't about money. Clark set there, but trust and respect. That's on live support. Here's what matters: Clark isn't just a piece of the puzzle, she is the engine. You don't fit greatness and you build the road for it. And with Lynn Dunn's warning still echoing, the pressures on Stephanie White and Fever leadership: fix it now or risk squandering a once-in-a-generation star. The Fever are at a turning point. Every Twitter meltdown, every broken play, every empty stat line is a sign that time's running out. So here's the question: does Stephanie White deserve to stay, or is it time to move on? Tell us in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you next time.